Shalom. Shalom Babakar. Kalla Limna Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Just a quick one. Over here, which happened yesterday, I believe the 11th. Let's check the date. Yeah, 2 days ago. Okay. 10th or 11th of June. Right? It's California parents brawl with these activists, right? The weirdo community activists, right? And let me just play it, and you have a look what's going on, right? Basically, they're Armenian parents, right? And with the Armenians, there's an Eastern element of the culture there, and plus, amongst them, there's a good fair amount of Jake as well, But a lot of them are, some of them are Jake, some of them are Edomites, some of them are Ottoman Turks. We're pretty much scattered everywhere, but a lot of parents, okay, don't want their children interfered with, right? And they don't want that dark energy of this weirdo-ish on their children, right? And a lot of parents, okay, and even if you don't agree, listen, you're not supposed to agree with this lifestyle anyway, any of it, okay? Men with men, women with women, the children part and the animals part, that's all disgusting, okay? You're not supposed to do none of that weirdo-ish. You understand? All right? Biology is not bigotry. You understand? All these faggots over here and all these weirdo dykes and weirdos over here, these Edomites. And if you notice, most of these motherfuckers are crackers. I'm sick and tired of holding my tongue. All these motherfuckers here are Edomites. I don't see no brown faces. And if there's any Jakes amongst them, they're probably one or two. I'm sure they are. But for the most part, right, I can see heathens up here. And a lot of these faggots are masked up, covering their faces and their eyes. So some of them could be just like, what do you call them? Agents as well. Agent provocateurs. All right, that's neither here or there. Let's just check this out right now. There he is, guys. And if you notice, most of the police uniforms, they're turning into looking more and more like martial law uniforms year by year. Because if you look at the old footage of the 90s, right, just 25 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, right? You see, police officer uniforms, like New York police officer uniforms or any American police officer uniforms, right? They were pretty much, they looked like, remember that cartoon from back in the day, Top Cat? Do you remember when Top Cat used to be, the cat in the alleyway, and the copper used to come with a uniform on, that stereotypical Edomite in the, in the police uniform. Most coppers look like that, But nowadays, if you look at them, they look like they'll, been hypnotized and, they all look robotic and stuff like that. They all look very, they got their little gadgets and all that kind of thing, like Batman. The uniform is getting more and more, very, very warlike looking, very, very martial law type looking. You know what I'm trying to say? You can see the energy change as well. It's getting to that point. It is definitely getting to that point.
Oh boy. Wow. Okay.
You know, it's funny how these weirdos would get so violent and so angry just to promote their filthiness, right? You want to be filthy, okay? In this world, we can't put our hands on you yet, right? You want to be filthy, okay? But amongst yourselves, all right? So Yahweh Shemeshah willing, he burns you up somehow. Okay, but for the most part, we can't put our hands on you yet, right? Pursuant to Leviticus 20:13. But that time will come, Lord willing, very soon. Okay? But they're so heated and so angry and so vexed that they want to push up on us and make us accept them. Okay? You don't need our validation. You're a faggot. You're a weirdo. Be that. Okay? Yahweh Shemashah is going to kill you. Okay? Especially if you're a Jake doing that, or you know, a Jake doing that sort of thing. But if you're a heathen, the Lord's going to take you out anyway. Okay? Right? They want to work around with t-shirts saying GAYAF. You know, they want to, push their beliefs on everybody. You know, but really, if you look at most of the comments are from people that hate this stuff. So where are the weirdos on these comment boards? None of these weirdos show up on a heavy basis on these comment boards on these YouTube videos. For the most part, if you read the comments, the world is somewhat not into this, right? And even if they are, which most of these people are Edomites and heathens anyway, right? And there's sprinkling a Jake amongst them, right? They are hiding because they're cowards, man. Okay? Because if you look at the parents, they weren't masked up. It was the weirdos that were masked up. One of those motherfuckers was wearing a pink bandana. That faggot cracker that just got arrested, the Edomite.
An explosive Glendale Unified School Board meeting Tuesday night with arguments both inside and outside of the board.
And isn't that a beautiful statement? Biology isn't bigotry, man. Most of you weirdos that are here, how'd you get here, man? How'd you get here? Okay? It sure as hell wasn't a man going up another man's rectum. It sure wasn't two bitches checking each other's, pH balance, as stated by one of the elder bishops. I'm using that quote from him. And that was a, perfect example, checking each other's pH balance. It wasn't that. It was a sword going into the sheath. Okay? Seed released, woman impregnated, biology. And here comes these weirdos. And they want to stop, on the flip side, put all these weirdos on one island. You leave them there, They don't like men, don't like women, women don't like men. They're going to die out anyway. But, we don't have long left here, even for that to happen, because the Lord's going to burn you weirdos up, man.
Boardroom. Parents, community members, and students all voicing their thoughts on the district's curriculum and policies relating to gender identity.
Yes, I'm a teacher in the district. I also teach at LUSD. I have 2 students in the district. I did intervention at Fremont, but I'm also a community member who volunteers extensively in Watts and South LA, and I work at the Children's Hospital Los Angeles with
fair use, fair use, fair use.
Queer and trans youth in large groups. And so I deal with a lot of their trauma related to the heteronormative, Judeo-Christian, patriarchal, imperialist, capitalist system that oppresses them. And so,
that faggot just means bundle of sticks, okay? YouTube police. And fuck basically means fornication under the court of the king. All right? They're not swear words according to your bullshit ass law, okay? All right? Bunch of weirdos,
Critical race theory. I'm not just here in support of our LGBTQ youth. It's all connected. I'm in support of critical race theory and diversity, inclusion, equity training because white people participated, for example, in the largest social welfare program in the history of the United States, and yet now they throw their hands up in the air when we look at our housing crisis. And Armenians talk about the genocide, but they received SSI, but they don't want to talk about the indigenous genocide of 1850. and the lack of reparations for Black and Indigenous people in this country. And they don't want to talk about how dare you as marginalized people.
Did you hear that? She's talking about the Jake, right? And somebody in the background talk about reparations, and she was talking about reparations for Jake, and somebody in the background was laughing at the plight of Jake when she talks about the Native Indians and so-called blacks. Do you hear that? Some motherfucker was laughing. See that? So we're a joke, man. We're a joke to this world. Before these faggots and weirdos and Armenians and all that, oh, that's cool, right? That's cool. Their plight is okay. The faggot plight is okay. But when it comes to Jake, nah, that's a joke.
Come here and you know
that again, actually.
Housing crisis. And Armenians talk about the genocide, but they received SSI, but they don't want to talk about the indigenous genocide of 1850 and the lack of reparations for Black and Indigenous people in this country. And they don't want to talk about how dare you as marginalized.
You hear the laughing? You hear the laughing? Let me hear that again.
Now they throw their hands up in the air when we look at our housing crisis. And Armenians talk about the genocide, but they received SSI, but they don't want to talk about the indigenous genocide of 1850 and the lack of reparations for Black and Indigenous people in this country. And they don't want to talk about how dare you as marginalized people come here and you don't want to talk about the oppressed trans youth who, you know, your kids aren't even learning what they need to learn in this. That 1 in 2 will attempt suicide, and 95% know that they are trans when they are 3, 4, and 5 years old. I'm here in support of the LGBTQIA plus community. But they don't want to when we go to largest social welfare training because white people participated, for example, in the largest social welfare program in the history of the United States, and yet now they throw their hands up in the air when we look at our housing crisis welfare training because.
Some of the subtitles on so.
White people participated, for example, in the largest social welfare program in the history of the United States, and yet now they throw their hands up in the air when we look at our housing crisis. And Armenians talk about the genocide, but they received SSI, but they don't want to talk about the indigenous genocide of 1850 and the lack of reparations for Black and Indigenous people in this country. And they don't want to talk about how dare you as marginalized people come here and you don't want to talk about the oppressed trans youth who, you know, your kids aren't even learning what they need to learn in this. That 1 in 2 will attempt suicide, and 95% know that they are trans when they are 3, 4, and 5 years old.
Okay, so this bitch was comparing basically the plight, you know, I mean, she addressed pretty much everything: the plight of Armenians, their so-called genocide, and the plight of Jake, which is the biggest genocide since the beginning of time, right? You know, of our people collectively, right? And then after talking about all of that, then she started talking about the weirdos and how they die and all that kind of thing. So basically, they're trying to make comparisons. They're trying to make everybody. It's okay. So what she's trying to do is basically, so okay, you know, they haven't got reparations for this. They got reparations for that. Okay. So for these weirdos that are also going through it, you know, don't you think that you people that are so up in arms against your own situation or scenario, why can't you be compassionate to this situation, this weirdo situation? That's what she's trying to do. So this is just a play of words, man. You know, but the fact of the matter is, when she's talking about Jake's plight and the Native Indian plight, some motherfucker in the background was laughing and giggling. You heard it, right? And I played that 3 times. All right?
I'm here in support of the LGBTQIA plus community, and I'm very happy that this the resolution is on the docket and it's going to happen. I had so much to say, but I got to cut it down. But in addition to June being declared Pride Month, I think that it's very important, especially as a teacher, that we not only pass this resolution, but we also implement comprehensive LGBTQ plus IA education for students. The district should establish supportive programs and resources for students, staff, and families regarding the LGBTQ plus IA plus issues. There should be ongoing staff training for employees of the district, teachers, and staff.
I'm the California chapter lead of Gays Against Groomers. I'd like to make something very clear. I really wish I didn't have to be here tonight.
Look how they're catering to the fucking faggots and dykes and weirdos out there. Right? Look at the hell Jake goes through. Are they trying to make everybody, when Jake went through the hell, for numerous generations, even up to this day, are they telling other nations saying, okay, yeah, take it easy on Jake? They've gone through X, Y, and Z. Be attentive to their needs and requirements. Be careful with your words. Get training for this, get training for that. Did they do that with the worst hell that we went through? But for these fucking weirdos that want to, shoot butt darts and bitches want to, lick on each other's coochie, yeah, right? They just because of filthy demonic spirit on these motherfuckers, right? They want to play with little children. You have to cater to their needs. This is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, and Yahweh Shemashah is going to burn this fucking place up, man. And this fat fucking, fucking.
And I never wanted to be an activist, but this indoctrination and delusional ideology you're perpetuating and foisting on these kids has made me one. I'm a middle-aged lesbian. I assure you, the LGB does not need to be propagandized to in order to realize our sexuality. It's clear your end goal is not about inclusion or acceptance. It's about capitulation and surrender. Of the truth, and why do grown adults need validation of minors? That should be what you're asking, rather than bending at the knee to narcissist ideologues at the peril and detriment of your already academically failing.
And then also what they're trying to do as well at the same time is they're trying to make certain people that don't like the LGBTQ thing as a whole, but then they want certain people to have sympathy for the weirdos that are against the inclusion of children. Like this fat wench said here, this lesbian said that, she doesn't want the validation of people and she doesn't want the inclusion of certain people. Like, for example, the children. I'm sort of paraphrasing it and sort of breaking it down, summarizing it up. Okay, so they are basically playing with emotions. And certain people, that are like, how Jake is in it, like Jake in the World. Oh man, as long as the faggot don't come near me and don't bother me and they stay with their own, I don't really give a shit. That's what they'll probably say. And then a lot of them Jakes that are that way inclined, that had that sort of mindset of being cool with everyone, they're gonna say, they're all right. They just want to be cool. They just want to, she wants to do a little licky, and the faggots want to shoot some butt darts. That's okay, as long as they leave the children out of it. And they say, okay, those guys, those weirdos are okay. But these weirdos over here that like children and like animals, and they want they want to include everybody, all that kind of thing. Those are the people that we hate. So there's going to be a little bit of a power struggle here. If you can understand and sort of read it in between the lines.
Academically failing students.
Okay. That's where we're at, man, in this filthy world. And here's an example here. Look, you got these motherfuckers. Listen, she went to South Africa to get these children, right? Guaranteed, these children are Israelites. Guaranteed. These motherfuckers know where Jake is scattered at, okay? For the most part, we're in West Africa, right? But in South Africa, there's a lot of Jake there. If you go to the shanty towns and if you look at some of the hood movies that are made in South Africa, if you look at the people there, the girls there are very beautiful, man. And Hamite women don't look like that. These women look like straight up Negro women. They don't look like Somalian women or Ethiopian women, which are, there's scattering of Jake amongst them, and them heathen women are beautiful, right? But these women that in South Africa, they look like Negro women. They're like a Jewite woman, but they're quite attractive, man. They look like the women that you would see in the UK or the States, you know what I mean? And out of them, and they live in the worst parts, man. They live in the worst effed up parts in South Africa. That apartheid thing, okay. There was a Hamite ruling. Was that Nelson Mandela did all that whatever that Hamite did, right? That apartheid, who do you think was suffering most out of that? It was Jake. There's Hamite suffering too, of course. But for the most part, in that part of South Africa, there's a good portion of Jake. And these people know where to get the children from, which children they need to flip over. You think they're going to waste their time with Hamite children flipping them over? Huh? Because Hamites are of weirdos anyway, and these Edomites copy Hamite culture with the demonic worship and the faggotry and the dykism and all that. Like the brother said here, how did this bitch got away with this? It's true. Let this be a so-called black woman, right? Here, standing there, or a brother. Right? Not that Jake would do anything. Actually, Jake would, especially if they're sold out. Okay? Or a so-called black woman with two Edomite children, right? And both boys are wearing dresses. Guaranteed. The fucking world Every Edomite's going to be up in arms. The KKK, them cracker Edomites are going to be doing their thing on certain social platforms. You know, there'll be death threats. But not one ninja even said anything to this BITCH, man. And this is going on as a whole. The only reason her face is there is because she's famous. You know? Like that quote from Betty Wright would say that, you know me, but I don't know you. So everybody knows this person, but nobody knows the other weirdos out there that have got children like this. Like all the faggots out there that have got, that have got little Jake children, have adopted Jake children, and then raping them little children and selling them little Jake children to other pedophiles. This is what they do. Okay? The only reason her face is in the forefront is because this bitch is famous. Charlize Theron. Okay? And I'm still skeptical about, I don't know, this thing's even a woman. Fucking damn rat. You know? I guess when these Edomite women age, they look, a little weird. They don't look decent up to about the age of 30, if that. Okay? Like the sign said, biology is not bigotry, right? Genesis 1:27. So the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he them. Okay? Now I'm going to reiterate it again. I'm going to say it again. Male and female. Okay? The male parts fit into the woman's part. Okay? Like a sword goes into a sheath. A jigsaw puzzle, the way it's supposed to. Okay? All right? The way it's supposed to, so you can bring forth life. Okay? No weirdoism. Genesis 1:28. And the Most High blessed them, and Yahweh Hashem Yahshua said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, be in control of it and have children and multiply. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. You're not going to multiply by shooting butt darts and a bitch putting her tongue in another woman's coochie. That's not going to happen. All right? That's not going to happen. Okay. And the Most High blessed them. And Yahweh Hashem said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Okay, let's go to the part where these weirdos have changed the natural use. Romans 1:26. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Okay? Now that isn't hard to sort of decipher, right? Women did change the natural use which is against nature? Yeah. To women kissing up on each other, licking each other out and shit. That's against nature. That's vile affection. How the fuck you can be attracted to the same sex is disgusting. You know what I mean? What the fuck? How are you going to be attracted to her? She's got exactly what you got. Where's the attraction? So that's a fucking demon, man. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Verse 27, Romans 1:27. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, okay, men being moles, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of the error which was meet. And this is what you're supposed to do to a mole or a female mole. Leviticus 20:13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Okay? Now these laws obviously are created for Jake, but if Jake is amongst them and doing all this thing, they're going to be, taken out first, because Yahweh Hashem Yahshua did say that, judgment will begin in the house of the Lord, right? And then obviously the Lord's definitely going to take out the heathen, because number one, he's not their power, and number two, they're a bunch of weirdos. All right? Okay? And the Lord controls both the right-hand side and the left-hand side. So the Lord can give you up to vile affection. Okay? Just a quick one, just to sort of add my two, brothers would say, I want to add my 2 cents to it. I'll add a UK element. I want to add my 2 pence to it. And very soon, even that won't exist, the pence or the cents. Because this place is going to go. But anyway, just a quick one. Slakia for my language. You get a little real vexed with what's going on. And that all praise to Yahweh Shem Yashai. Wa abad